What's up guys, this is Triple, welcome back to the channel. Guys, today I have the best controller configuration for those looking to stay as close as they possibly can to the Builder Pro layout. So this controller configuration only has one change involved in it, and I'll get to that in a second, but let me first start by saying that this is not the best controller configuration overall. I made a video already that a lot of you guys have probably already seen, showing what I believe to be the best controller configuration, and I gave a lot of reasons why that is. If you haven't seen that, I'll go ahead and link it right now. But just know that this is not the best overall, but it's still a very viable option for those looking to stay as close as possible to Builder Pro. So with that said, let's go ahead and get right into the controls here. I'm going to pop up in my settings, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is, if we can find it, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and reset this just to make sure that you guys know how to do it. I recommend, guys, a lot of you guys have been commenting, you know, the reset button is broken after I change some binds. What I recommend you guys do is always reset to default Builder Pro after messing with any binds, and just start from fresh. Like if you're going to try out a bind, reset this, reset Builder Pro to default, and then go ahead and make changes to your keybinds. What you don't want to do is make changes, go test it out, make more changes, go test it out. At the end of the day, you're going to have some glitches. And one of those prominent glitches right now, as the game is today, is that the reset button just disappears and you can't really use it. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and reset to default. So here's Builder Pro. This is our custom screen. The only thing we're going to change here is our sprint. We're going to make this the edit button. And also let me address that I was not the one to find this. I saw this in the comment section of my other video over the best controller configuration, so shout out to that guy, whoever it was. And then I also saw a few other videos showing this exact setup. Even though it's already out there, I want to make sure that it's explained the right way. So like I said, we're going to change the sprint button to the edit, so that is the left thumbstick. Then we're going to go ahead and go to the B button, and we're going to make this just solely switch mode. That way we're not having a second edit button pop up. So we only edit with this button right here. As for build controls, nothing changes. So literally this is the closest you can possibly get to staying on Builder Pro. The only change is now that you have an edit here. Now you guys might be asking, where'd the sprint go? I've already explained this in the other video. But if you go to your main screen settings and you go down to this option called sprint by default, so go ahead and turn that option on, and then what you will notice is I'm not pressing in the thumbstick at all, I'm just running. And you can still go side to side, you can do small movements, but as soon as you want to run, you can run. And believe me, I've tested it both ways. It's the exact same speed as if you were going to sprint manually. So this is an option that there's literally no downside to, because you never walk in Fortnite. You only do little side to side movements, and that's fine. But there's not really a case where you have to be walking, if that makes sense. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is that whenever you do go to exit this screen, a warning is going to pop up saying that you don't have the sprint/auto sprint feature as a button bind, and that's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. As I already said, we have that other option in the main settings screen that enables us to auto sprint, so we no longer need this bind. So it basically frees up a bind and allows us to put the edit button on the left thumbstick. And in fact, let me just get into this real quick. The controller bind, the best controller bind that I share with the other video that I linked at the beginning, in that bind, I have my edit button as X, and in my opinion, this is a more consistent method. I'll go ahead and show two clips right now. This first one is going to be me editing with the X, and to me, it's more consistent, it's more fluid, and I'm not messing up as much. Then we go ahead and go to the thumbstick version, and it just gets a little jittery. It might just be me. Someone else might find that this option works better for them. It's definitely preference. Now, what you might have noticed in those clips is that editing with the thumbstick is slightly faster. It's just, as I mentioned before, it's a little bit harder to control, and therefore I think I prefer using the X to edit. That said, it might be worth getting used to this layout, because if you value editing as much as most pro players do, then you would want this layout compared to having your edit button mapped to an actual button such as X. So it all comes down to how you value editing. It's undeniable that it's very prominent in high-level gameplay. So what can we really take from this is that the other layout that I mentioned in the other vid is still the best in terms of how much things that it fixes. Yes, it fixes the edit delay. Yes, it fixes like moving around while you're interacting with things. And it fixes a few other gameplay mechanics. So I think that to classify it as the best, we'll have to say it's the best in terms of gameplay mechanics overall. But if you're looking for sole editing speed, just that is your primary goal, is to have the fastest editing speed possible, then you definitely want to go with this one, this controller configuration. So with that said, guys, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you did learn something today, or you did find it enjoyable, then a like would be much appreciated because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.